welcome back to the channel. This is another video of what's your profession, and today I've got Michael, my lovely friend, to be part of the video. He's gonna be sharing his stories on product design and what he does professionally as well. To start with, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure thing. So I'm Michael, I'm a product designer at Xero, and outside of Xero I also do design mentoring on the ADP list as well. So I'm originally from Wellington, and I studied a Bachelor of Design down there in Victoria University for 4 years. And in 2015, that's when I moved up to Auckland, where we're filming now, and I have worked at quite a few different tech companies in Auckland, including Pushpay, Timely, and Movio, which is a part of the Vista Group. And outside of my career, I also like to do a lot of networking, which is where I met Martina as well.
Awesome! Can you tell us a bit about your day-to-day at work?
Definitely. So day-to-day at work, I attend a lot of meetings to collaborate with product owners, developers, UX researchers, and product designers. In terms of actual design tasks, this can include attending user interview sessions and user testing sessions, building out prototypes to take to stakeholders and end users to assess whether our proposed design is going to help solve user and business needs. I design a lot of visuals as well, and one of my favorite parts of the design process is working on user flows and outlining where in the journey we will have edge cases and opportunities to improve the efficiency of the experience as well.
Wow, sounds very full on. Do you have to do much of overtime at all?
Yeah, in terms of overtime, generally it's been quite good in my career. I haven't had to do too many periods where it's been a lot of overtime. If there is moments where I have to work beyond the 9 to 5 hours, it's primarily due to time zones. So for user interviews and user testing sessions, like I've mentioned, there can be moments where we have to talk to people who are overseas in the US or the UK. And because of the difference in time zone, it's much easier for me to work later than to wake up earlier for them as well. But if I am doing any other after hours that is on my own accord, it's primarily to do with just general admin stuff or doing some last minute tidy-ups before handing something over to the developers to build. But otherwise, no, there definitely hasn't been as much of a need to do a lot of overtime, unless it's, as I said, like crunch time or an activity that has to be after hours due to time zone differences.
Just for people to get to know you a bit more, do you want to tell everyone about your journey before becoming a product designer?
Yeah, definitely. So before I was a product designer, I had the ambitions of working as a website designer and a front-end developer. So instead of being a part of a team that got to identify problems for users, my ambition had originally been to do the designs for the marketing websites that a business might have, and also doing the coding and the maintenance of those websites. But after working in my first job at a design agency, I found that it wasn't really what I was after. I wanted to be there at the start of the process as well. So when I joined a incubator program for a 3-month internship, I realized that was where UX was what I was after. So in the internship I had at a program called Lightning Lab, it was focused on helping startups get like seed funding, the UX resources and business and dev resources before leading up to a demo day where they got to pitch their ideas to potential investors for future growth. And in those 3 months I got to work with the multiple startups in there. I got to do a lot of the UX design process and get a lot of exposure to it from some of the techniques that I mentioned earlier, like user testing, design workshops, prototyping, UI design, user flows as well. After that 3-month period, that was where I realized that UX design was what I was after, being able to be a part of the problem from beginning to end rather than just focusing on that particular end solution instead.
And just for UX design, we always have expectations when we are applying for jobs. What are the expectations that you had versus reality after working in the field?
Yeah, really great question actually, Martina. I would say what I found was a bit of a shock to me when I first joined the UX industry was how much planning is involved in the UX industry. There's a lot of thought that goes in before starting any kind of design work at all, and that involves a lot of collaboration as well across a variety of different UX techniques. One example is when you're running co-design workshops. You're not just thinking about organizing the workshop or getting resources and pens and paper for people. You're also thinking about why they're there, what sort of outcome you're looking for, who the right people are, how long this workshop's going to run for, and what kind of knowledge do people have that can help you move the needle on your project. So for me, the planning side was definitely the surprise that I found when I first started out in UX, but I'm really glad that I learned that quite early, because UX is quite a collaborative subject where you have to bring in like lots of different people's opinions, and you have to form some sort of plan as well with people around you on how you're going to tackle a project. And being able to be a better planner and communicator really helps further that end result for UX design.
What sort of essential skills do you think as a UX designer would need?
So some of the essential skills that I wish I found out earlier in my career were that you should stop thinking in just UI design and pixels. UI design is a very large part of the UX process, as it's what your end users will see and judge your product on or your work on. But it's not necessarily the only factor to it anymore. There's defining the problem and identifying the edge cases in a journey. There's making sure that your concept is meeting your users' needs. So only focusing on the end UI solution will limit not only the career growth, but also the opportunities that you might try to apply for in the future. I would say that when I was younger, if I had learned how to read data better as well. By data, I mean user feedback or numbers. It would really have helped me identify trends and opportunities for our users a lot more, I guess, earlier in the project process, and really helped me identify new areas of growth for us as a business as well. And I would say the last one that I wish I knew how to do better when I was younger was how to articulate my design thinking a lot better. As I've mentioned a few times, there's a lot of collaboration, but also a lot of sharing as well when you're in the design process, and being able to articulate and share your designs will help you get your team members behind you a lot more and reduce a lot more ambiguity down the line when it's coming closer to the build time for your designs as well.
Awesome. What do you think the future will hold for UX design industry?
In the future, I can see the UX industry having to design experiences that are allowing the end user to have more customization and personalization. A really good example is like when you were building your portfolio, Martina.
Yeah.
With website builders, you're not necessarily just entering the content into a design that's been given to you. You're allowed to now customize the whole page, right down from how it sits on desktop, how it might sit on mobile. You can customize a lot of the buttons and navigation as well. Another really good example is like some of the music streaming and video streaming software that we see nowadays. They're not just sharing what they think is like the highest hits of the week. They're sharing the highest hits that you feel the right things that you want to see rather than what they feel is right as well.
Great, that's amazing to hear. And I think we're going to take a little break here before we go into part 2 of the video. And if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a comment below. And next video will be more about the challenges of working in this industry. And Michael's going to share more of his thoughts on working as a product designer as well. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you soon.
Bye.